Was a time when you can take your hands off each other. Those times when stolen moments together were the highlights of your day. Both of you knew that your time together would have to end at some point because life had a different plan. The reality prompted you to make sweet promises of a future together. You parted ways with a vow that when the right time comes, when you get your money right, you'll definitely seal the deal. Tears were shed when you had to say goodbye, but it was nothing compared when you finally realized how much distance you have between the two of you. Time seemed to drag slower than it used to be. Distance, time difference, insecurities, unstable emotions, all these and the fear of the unknown put a toll on your relationship. It was a wreck. Her insecurities were too much for you to handle. She was constantly lashing on you, making it impossible for you to believe that she's the same person who made you feel butterflies in your stomach. She was more of a monster, and you don't want to deal with her. She made your existence unbearable. You were struggling to survive your daily existence on the other side of the globe, and dealing with her drama was the last thing you need in your life. She was getting worse as days passed by. She was no longer that beautiful soul you once vowed to love with all that you are. Then, without even knowing how it happened, everything you built together ended. Just like that, painful words of accusations were expressed without any restraints. The blame game began, and without any warning, the once beautiful relationship turned into nothing but a nightmare. Truth is, she was a misunderstood soul in a misplaced time and situation. It was never her intention to create the raging storm that thrashed all that you both worked hard to build. Her insecurities, her unnecessary lashing was all because she was trapped in a situation where she needed a soul to remind her that life is not as dark as it seemed to be. She was reaching out to you because she believed and hoped that you won't let her down, just like how the others did in the past. Unfortunately, the more she tried to reach out, the more you distanced yourself. She finally made a decision she never thought she would ever do in an attempt to save what you once had. She decided to leave that one place that had her imprisoned for so long. It scared the hell out of her to be on her own in a world she was never familiar with, but she did it anyway. Days turned into dark and cold, lonely nights. Time passed faster than it used to be. You started to move on. You welcomed someone new in your world. You started to smile more often, and you let the rest of the world know that you have something really good going. What about her? Oh well. She too had to move on, with caution and always on the guard. She started to see the world more with colors, and yes, she too found someone who was patient enough to deal with her shattered persona, someone who tried to understand how imperfect she is. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. Just like that, your story was just a part of the past. It happened, you met again. I bet you were expecting to meet the same person you once knew. Maybe at some point you have even imagined that she would start crying over of what you once had. The past can bring tons of regrets or myriads of things to be thankful for. As you listen to her speak, as you see her clearer, she has a different aura now. You can't help but wonder, how is it that you let her go? How is it that she's now smiling because of someone else? How is it that the more you reach out, the more you realize she was never yours to begin with? Hear her sigh, you were my once upon a time. You wanted me at my best, but you walked out at my worst. That was how our story had begun and ended. She was the brightest sunshine and the worst raging storm.